Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. My name is attorney Megan Pastrana. For those of you who are new, welcome. It's great to have you. And if you are watching this on the replay, if you weren't able to catch us live, oh, I have an echo. Let me see. I'm sorry. There we go. I don't know why there was an echo. I've never had it do that before. Technical, technical stuff. All right. I had to actually end it on Instagram. So unfortunately, hopefully that gets rid of the echo. So let's try this again. All right. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you. This is our weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. If you are new, again, welcome. Our firm, Immigration for Couples, we're dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world and navigating the U.S. immigration process. And it's great to be with all of you here live. I know we have a lot of individuals who are regulars, and you know the drill, and you've already started putting your questions and comments in. So please keep doing that, and I will answer those questions in the order I receive them. If you are watching this on the replay, if you weren't able to join us live, please do a hashtag replay and let me know. And this is the question for all of you who are here live too. Let me know, where are you at in the world and where are you at in your immigration journey? And most importantly, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I know that it's a crazy time right now in the world and it's extra stressful for those of you who are going through an immigration process. So I just want to check in and see, how are you doing? All right. And I keep the comments coming. So we have a good morning to you as well. And I'm sorry for the folks on Instagram that I had to end that. I had that echo. I will have my team figure that out. So next time we don't have that echo and everybody can participate. All right. So good morning, Betty Ann. Great to have you. You're in Philadelphia. Yeah, Terry, no worries. I saw your question. It just popped up once, and you're the first one in the queue. You usually are. So I will definitely get to it. And good morning to you as well. I do see your question. So no worries. We'll get to it. All right. I have some good questions that are coming in here. Yes. And Michelle, this process is very stressful and nerve-wracking, but you're in the right place. And just to have that support and community, but you're not alone in that feeling of those nerves and that stress. All right. All right. And Ginger, you're here. We have another someone else in Philadelphia. Small world. That's awesome. All right. And good morning, Ginger. Great to have you. You're in the UK. All right. And I do want to share a special announcement for those of you who've been joining live for a long time. And in the past couple of weeks, you know about my announcement, but I have been working on a project, a book, and I've been working on it for a few years. And I'm so excited that it is now a reality. And I actually have it here with me. So I just received my first author's copy. I'm very excited. It's called Navigating Love and Immigration. And we've already had the pre-sale and have sold quite a few books, and we'll have a webinar. And the book is available now on Amazon. So I'm actually going to throw that link here in the comments. So Navigating Love and Immigration is a book that, like I said, I've been working on for several years. I include my journey with my husband, our immigration journey. I have couples that my team and I have had the pleasure of representing in the process. And let me see if this link works. There you go. Hopefully that's the right link. If not, I'll get a different one in there, but that is the link. It is on Amazon. So let me know if that link is working for you all. But that's the link to the book. And so I've actually had couples who were willing to share vulnerably their advice in this book as well. And then also the book is about, of course, the immigration process itself, how to pick the best path, how to prove your relationship, how to be prepared for interviews. And so that is live on Amazon right now. And Anna, it's great to have you. All right. You're in San Diego. All right. And then one last announcement before we dive into questions here, as I do want to let you all know about the free resource center that my team and I created at immigrationforcouples.com. Part of the resources, and I can put that link in the comments as well, part of that resource center is a free webinar. And in that webinar, I really dive into the different options that are available to couples, how to prove your relationship, and how to not just survive but thrive in your immigration journey. So that is the link for the free resource center, and I'll leave that banner there below. All right. And keep your questions coming. I will definitely get to those here momentarily. And I want to try something different here because there was a question that happened that I received rather after last week's live. And I think there's probably a lot of couples who feel this way too. And I wanted to bring this question up. So let me see if I can bring this question up that I received and go over it. So Renee and Wisdom, they put this question up as a comment to the live. And she says that she and her husband have been married since January 10th of 2024. They filed an I-130. And of course, they say they love each other very much and want to be together. She's in Michigan, and they are not the same race as she. There's an age difference. And the thing that I wanted to bring this question up, I know it's kind of an awkward position here. It's covering me up, but I wanted all of you to be able to read it, as I think she is sharing some feelings that maybe others are having as well. And I really wanted to go over that, this question in particular. She's very worried about the new administration, saying, that they're just not immigrant friendly, increasingly racist, and she's concerned about approval, not being able to be approved. And so she's actually thinking, as you can see here and read, that they're considering taking the risk for her to travel and just be with him and to be able to be together. And and so her question is really about, are there any safeguards for U.S. citizens? So yes, registering for STEP, there's a Smart Travelers program when you're a U.S. citizen, when you're traveling, making that you're registering yourself with the U.S. Embassy or consulate abroad so they know where you are. That would be a step that you definitely want to take. And the main reason that I wanted to pull this question up is because I know so many people are feeling that way too about the current administration. There's so much fear mongering out there right now. The media gets our attention with fear. And I'm just seeing this paralysis, this overwhelming fear in couples. I've talked with couples who are basically in tears and just so afraid that their case is going to be denied because they're hearing everywhere that cases, it's going to be impossible to get a marriage green card nowadays, and that the odds are stacked against you, and people feel panic and fear and paralysis. And so this question, again, I'll pull it up here. I can just see all of those emotions wrapped up in Renee and Wisdom's question. And my message to you, Renee and Wisdom, and really to everybody here today is please don't lose hope. Please don't give up. I know that, again, there's so much fear mongering out there. It does feel like an uphill battle. The current administration, yes, it's not immigrant friendly. There will be other obstacles. There can be longer wait times. And I just want you all to know, please don't lose hope. Green cards are still being approved. Our clients are still receiving interviews. There's still a way to get through this process. And my team and I are not going to give up fighting. So yes, Renee and Wisdom, you said you have these red flags. You're really concerned with a denial. If you don't already have an immigration attorney, you definitely consider working with an immigration attorney to give you peace of mind and knowing that your case is in expert hands. So my point is, for all of you, please don't lose hope. Please don't give up. Please try to limit the amount of media and information you're taking in. It's very important to educate yourselves, but you also have to strike a balance with making sure you're taking care of your mental health. And I'm actually going to start a series, and those videos will start being released here this week, where I'm really answering questions and breaking through the rumors and the fear mongering, trying to give you peace of mind, confidence, and clarity on your immigration journey. All right. So thank you for that question. And I just wanted to see, yeah, I figured. So Anna, you're saying you're in the same situation as Renee. We were married in October of 2022. So yeah, the sentiment and that fear is real. It's palatable, and please don't lose hope. Please do not lose hope. While there are executive orders being signed and changes trying to be made in immigration, there's a lot of litigation There's a lot of people who are fighting for all of you, myself and my team included, for you to be able to get to the finish line. Okay. And then Nancy, I do see that's right. I did see your question as well. And I actually recorded a video about it, but we can go over your question here and then I will go through the questions in the order that I receive them. All right. So, Nancy, you are asking, you said that your fiance was in the United States and received a deportation, and it's been more than 10 years. Can you still apply for a fiance visa, or is there another way to go? So, yes, it is possible that even if someone has a deportation, to still be eligible in the future for a family based option like a fiance or spouse visa. So typically those would be the two paths, either a fiance or a spouse visa. And it is possible that your fiance is eligible. I would have to look at, the information about when the deportation occurred, why the deportation happened, what other immigration history exists, any other circumstances, because the type of waiver is going to depend on a lot of different factors. So there's a waiver called a 212 waiver, and it's really not a waiver. It's a 212 permission to apply. And then there's an I-601 waiver that individuals have to file to ask for forgiveness. Some people need both. Some people just need one. And it really depends on that person's, immigration history and all of those details. So yes, the answer is yes, it is possible. And this is the type of situation where I would need lots and lots more details to be able to tell you conclusively. But my team and I, we've helped many couples with both the 212 and the I-601 successfully, even after a deportation, to be able to return to the United States on both fiance and spouse visas. And I'd be happy to speak with you about that in private during a consultation. We can talk on Zoom or by phone. That phone number is below, 317-247-5040, or you can book on the website, and I'm happy to speak with you both in private. But yes, there can definitely be options, and I'd be happy to speak with you. All right. All right, let me go up to the top here. So Terry, you were the first one in the queue. And so yes, that's right. You had said that your husband has his interview coming up. So that's great. Congratulations. That's very exciting. And you're wanting to know kind of an estimated wait time. So typically, if an individual is able to be approved at their interview, visa printing typically takes around a week or two. Sometimes, though, they can't make a decision that day. Sometimes the medical exam hasn't made it over, or they haven't been able to complete their background checks, or there might be a police clearance document if you didn't bring all of your documents that's missing. And if that happens, then it can sometimes take longer, a few weeks to a few months more. It really depends on the case, and that's always the theme of immigration and law, is it depends. But on average, or typically, if an individual is approved that day, it usually takes about a week or two for the visa to be printed. So congratulations on that interview being scheduled. We're all sending you prayers and positive vibes for a positive outcome. All right. So, Anthony, does the beneficiary have to provide tax documents at any stage of the petition, fiance or spouse visa, or is this more a requirement of the petitioner solely? Thanks much. All right. So, immigration is primarily concerned with the income of the petitioner who is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. They want to see that you have the financial ability to provide support for your future spouse, or your fiance, or your current spouse. And so they are most concerned with the petitioner's income. There are some situations in which we would use a beneficiary's assets, but typically a beneficiary's tax documents are not typically required. It really is, again, that requirement of a petitioner. All right. All right. So, Michelle, I know you had said earlier that the process is stressful and really unnerving, and that you filed in your I-130 in December of 2023, and you're still waiting on an interview. Is there any advice that you would give, that I would give to both of you? So I understand that you filed the petition. I'm assuming that you have received the petition approval possibly, or you're still waiting on that approval. So my advice, as I had said earlier in the show, is first and foremost, please, I want you all to hear today, please don't give up hope. I know that there's a lot going on, a lot of fear mongering, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you will get to the finish line. And my advice too is with long wait times, while we cannot control the wait times or when you will get a decision, something you can do and something that my firm does, my team and I for our clients, is we practice proaction. So we work ahead. We start getting documents ready for the next steps. So if you have not received the I-130 approval, looking at the National Visa Center phase and making sure you are ready for that next step in the process. And checking out my free resource center as well for the spouse visa process. I go through the steps in the process, so you kind of have a 30,000-foot overview of where you're at and where you're going. But don't lose hope and practice proaction. Start working ahead on the pieces that you can control to be ready for the next step. Okay. Great question. I actually just recorded a video on this topic as well that will be released soon. So the question about filing an application right now, when you're filing an I-130 petition and you need a provisional waiver called an I-601, is it smart to file right now, or is it better to wait until this uncertainty and that this current administration has ended? And my advice is no, it is not a good idea to wait. I know that there's just so much fear, like I've said many times here, and it causes this paralysis, and you feel that you just shouldn't take any action. And that's really, unfortunately, what this current administration is wanting, is to pump out so much fear that causes paralysis, and people don't take the steps that they're legally allowed to take to secure their future and to secure their residency status. So filing filing the I-130, getting your waiver application filed, getting in that line is the best way to secure your future. Yes, we're not in an administration that's immigrant friendly. And the I-130 process, the spouse visa process, the provisional waiver process, fiancé visas, all of these different options and processes that are available to couples are written laws under the Immigration and Nationality Act. Those cannot be changed by the president. And getting your application filed, especially for a provisional waiver, getting that process started, getting the ball rolling is really imperative, because the wait times for the waiver application, the I-601A, are around 3 years right now. It's taking most individuals at least 4 years to get through that process. So get started, get that process started. You want to make sure you're submitting a strong application. And that's going to provide you with some level of protection and security. You cannot receive a work permit during this process, but taking these proactive steps to getting your application filed puts you in the best position. If you already have a process going and then you are come in contact with immigration and they want to begin deportation proceedings, you are already in a process and you've taken steps, and it's easier to take steps before you come into contact with immigration than waiting until you are detained and being put in a deportation proceeding and having to be on the defensive. That's a long answer to say you definitely want to take action. You definitely want to get your application, in the queue and be one day closer. And again, I'll have a video that I'm releasing about this question. So I hope that helps. And again, this goes for all of you. I'm happy to speak with you in private one-on-one about the specifics of your case so you can feel safe and secure with taking steps forward to getting your application filed. All right. Okay. And so I see some questions that are coming in here. Oh, I think some individuals have long questions, and so it's like multiple parts. So I just, for those of you who are new, I ask that you ask your question one time, and I will get to your question in the order that I receive them. And I do my best to get through as many questions as I can in the time that we have. All right. Okay. Okay, so you're still waiting for the NVC. Oh, you were just giving us an update on where you're at. You're still waiting on the NVC to accept the last few documents that an outdated I-864 was used, and the NVC sent it back. So you're having to do a revised I-864. Okay. Well, you're getting closer then, at least, to the interview phase. After you're documentarily qualified, then you'll be put in line for that interview. Okay. So Amber, you're looking at doing the Utah marriage online, but I will be going to him so we can do it online together in person. Yeah, so that's great. Well, congratulations on your upcoming wedding. That's exciting. Yeah, we have had a lot of clients that we've helped who have used the Utah virtual marriage, and it's definitely ideal for you to be together for that ceremony in the same place. And really, my advice to you is going to be this similar to what the advice I gave to Michelle, which is, we can't control the wait times, but you can control being prepared and having all of your documents ready for the next steps in the process. So before the marriage, what we do with the clients that we represent is that before the marriage, we start working on collecting relationship evidence, all of the required civil documents. We start getting the application prepared so we can file it shortly after the wedding and be able to get them in line as soon as possible. So that would be my advice to you. And then also definitely check out the free resource center on my website, immigrationforcouples.com, and check out the that webinar and then the spouse visa process as well. So congratulations on your marriage. That's very exciting. All right. So Andrew, great to have you with us. You're the beneficiary in the United Kingdom to a U.S. citizen, and you have a pre-existing medical condition. Would it be a good idea to obtain medical insurance prior to completing the DS 260, so the online application? And so Andrew, it's a great idea that if you have any kind of pre-existing medical condition, not just for immigration purposes, but just for personal preparedness, is to look at having a medical insurance policy that'll cover you upon arrival. So typically, that's not going to be required by the National Visa Center on the online portal. I wouldn't necessarily hold up your application and not move forward until you have the health insurance. I would kind of do that simultaneously, is what I typically advise clients. So great to have you with us. All right, Jose, we keep hoping every week that you're going to come and tell us, like Emily in Paris came and told us that her I-130 was approved. So hopefully you're getting that approval here soon. I know you're in Houston, and then you wanted to know if you owe IRS back taxes but have a payment plan, can that affect my petition? And I had someone ask this last week as well. You definitely want to make sure you're on a payment plan and in compliance. Typically, as long as you have that payment plan set up and you're in compliance, that you're in the best position that you can be possibly with your case. All right, I have so many questions here today. And Pierre, you're in Indiana, and you would like to know what I need to do for my wife's interview next month. Like, what kind of paperwork do you need to prepare? So it depends on the kind of the type of interview and where the interview will be occurring. I'm not sure if this is a spouse visa or an adjustment of status case. So that's the first question. And then once the interview is scheduled, you can start working on preparing all of the documentation that will be needed for that interview. So if you're going through a process abroad through a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad, the National Visa Center is a good place to start to kind of look at what are those required documents. If you have an immigration attorney, he or she should be helping you proactively prepare in advance for that interview. That's what we do for our clients, but that would be the best place to start. All right. So, and good morning to you as well. So you're in Miami and you've been waiting 3 months for the K1. So I assume you mean you filed your petition and you're waiting on a decision on the petition. And we're seeing that very first step taking about 8 months or so, give or take right now. All right. And since I can't see all of you, I always like to ask, let me know if this is helpful by giving a thumbs up, a heart, anything like that, just so I know that this is helpful to all of you, that you're tracking along with me, that you're hearing me, that's very helpful to get that feedback. All right. So your fiance is here on a seaman visa. I assume you mean like the crew member, and you're wanting to know about getting married while she's here in the US. So definitely speak with an immigration attorney before getting married. Yes, it's possible to get married. And also understanding, if you're thinking about doing adjustment of status, you have to understand the restrictions and limitations. First and foremost, coming to the US with the intent to get married and then stay and live here, that's not permissible. That's not allowed under the adjustment of status option. There are still other options that can be available to you. And there are also specific restrictions for individuals who enter on a crew member visa. So, yes, it's possible to get married. And what I say really to all couples, a really good thing that you should do before getting married is talking with an immigration attorney, an experienced expert immigration attorney who can help you understand your options before taking those steps towards the step of marriage. Because once you're married, then you're kind of closing the doors on some options like the fiance visa. So it's good to be educated and informed and making sure that you're picking the right path before marriage, so you can feel confident in your decision. Yeah. Okay. So, Gary, you want to know about dual citizenship. So, in the United States, recognizes, or rather allows, dual citizenship. So basically, the laws on U.S. Dual citizenship, the laws take a position of, they don't say yes, you can have dual citizenship, and they don't say no. And so in the U.S., basically, it's allowed. You're allowed to have citizenship both in the U.S. and another country. When you go through the process of naturalization to become a U.S. citizen, you're pledging your loyalty and allegiance to the United States. And what I tell my clients who are looking to take that next step to U.S. citizenship is, you need to check with your country of citizenship, country of birth, country of origin, to make sure that they take a similar position, that you're allowed to take that step of becoming a U.S. citizen without it impacting your citizenship in that country. So our clients, for example, from China and Japan and India, they will, they have more strict requirements about citizenship and not allowing dual citizenship. India has an option for people to kind of change their citizenship status to a resident. And so you're really looking at immigration laws in two different countries. And so I'm telling you the piece for the US immigration side, and then you'd want to make sure that you talk with an immigration attorney or someone comparable in Cambodia to understand, is it allowed? What would be the impact of becoming a US citizen? So you can make an educated decision before you take that step forward. But the US does allow it. Awesome. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate it. We're all very excited about the book being released. All right. And good morning, Lisa. It's great to see you. And Carla, you're in the Philippines. Great to have you here with us. I'm going to be able to do a few more questions here, and then I do need to jet for the day. Excuse me. So you're in Maine and your fiance is in Kenya. You're waiting for the consular to open the calendar. It's been 6 weeks and nothing. Any ideas? Yes, those calendars and trying to schedule an interview can sometimes take a while. The best advice, what we do with our clients, checking every day, multiple times a day, until the calendar opens. Typically, dates will open towards the beginning and end of the month. So just keep checking. I know it's frustrating to have to check for weeks, but just when you feel like you can't wait any longer, a date will pop up. So keep checking, and good luck. Hopefully you'll get something, an interview soon here. This is actually a great question because I was going to mention this to all of you. The timing and days of the live session, have they changed? So for next week, we are actually going to be moving the live to Thursday, the 20th. So I'm going to be having 2 sessions next week on the 20th, and we will not be having the session next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I'll repeat this as well. We're going to do a special session on the 20th at 11 a.m. at Eastern time and 6 p.m. Eastern time on the 20th, because I have some special announcements about the book on that day. So next week we'll have a double session on Thursday. All right. Okay, so Nancy, I got to your question this time. And then Carla, it looked like you are letting us know that you and your fiance are about ready to apply for the fiance visa. He's in California and you're in the Philippines. Any tips on where to start? Yes. So you're in a great place. We here in this community is a good place to start. checking out the free resource center that my team and I created. You'll see that link below, immigrationforcouples.com, and I also posted it in the comments. And I can post that here again for everyone. But that's a really great place to start checking out that webinar. And then we do have free downloadable charts. So you can see that an overview of the process. So that would be a really great place to get education and an understanding. And of course, I'm always happy to speak with you both in private about your particular case and my advice on the best path forward and your next step. So that's always an option as well. But there's that free resource center for you. All right. I wanted to make sure. I know I have a lot of questions. I always have more questions than I can get to in the time that we have. You're doing the spouse visa up here. Okay. Doniseta, it's great to have you with us. Awesome. Awesome. Ken, great to have you with us. Gary, you're very welcome. I think we did a pretty good job. I think I got through almost all of them. I'll grab this one last question here, and then I do need to jet. So what do I think about the removal conditions? Will it become harder under the current rules? Either way, do you have any tips that you would offer for success? So yes, the I-751 removal of conditions is a process that's very evidence heavy. And you definitely want to make sure you have a lot of strong relationship evidence and that you're filing as soon as your filing window opens with a strong, solid application. And in terms of whether it will be harder under the current administration, the standard is still legally the same. That you have to prove that you have a bona fide relationship, that you have shown, you have to show immigration that you have continued to have a life together and have combined your lives and are in love and want to continue having that love and that future together. So making sure you have really strong evidence. And so I would also encourage you to check out the free resource center. We work with our couples to make sure we have strong evidence all the way from marriage date to present to the time of filing. And that it's evidence that covers all of the different relationship categories, commingling of finances like joint tax returns, and then also all of the lovey-dovey evidence, which is my favorite, the photos, the trips together. If you adopted a pet or if you've had children together since filing, all of that is really important. I will say, having practiced under the prior administration, the prior Trump administration, we did see an uptick in requests for evidence. Some of them were absurd, asking and sending a request for evidence when a couple was married and had children. And we would just respond with even more evidence, but making sure that you have a really solid, strong application. And if you don't have an immigration attorney, again, like I've said, having an expert immigration in your expert immigration attorney in your corner to be able to leverage their expertise to give you peace of mind and to make sure you're submitting a solid application, because it is taking about 3 to 4 years to get a decision. So it's imperative that not only that you file a strong application, but that you continue collecting relationship evidence in the event of a request for evidence or in the event that you are scheduled for an interview on your case. All right. Well, it was great to be with all of you here today. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. Again, I will be here next week, not on Tuesday, but on Thursday, the 20th, 2 times, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we will be sending links with announcements for that. So you can make sure you can join that double session and celebrate some exciting news that I'll be answering for all of you about the book. So, all right. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Hang in there. And I will see you next week. All right. Bye.